Hello there, YouTube. How are you? Like you're gonna respond to that, really. Okay, so in my last video, I got asked several questions, um, and I'm gonna try and touch on each one of those questions. Someone made a comment. I'm sorry, I can't remember your name, your YouTube name, but your question was, what is the difference between a domestic submissive, a regular submissive, and a sexual submissive? Okay, I'm going to try and describe this to you as simple as I can. Okay, so when you're talking about domestics, you're talking about, cleaning house, and washing dishes, and vacuuming, and all those sorts of things. Um, those are domestic chores, maybe even gardening or mowing the lawns. Those are also domestic chores. So if you have a dominant who wants you strictly as a domestic slave, in my opinion, they basically just want you as a person to give them free housework, and I don't agree with that. Um, I mean, I've been in a situation like that, and it was just not right for me. Everyone's different. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. I'm just saying that it's not my cup of tea, okay? So, no, I do not condone that sort of thing. But, yes, that is what a domestic slave is. And slave falls under the category of submissive. Pretty much everything falls under submissive or dominant. You're either submissive or you're dominant. You can be a pet, but you're still submissive, okay? A dominant is, a dominant no matter what. But, you can be a pet, you can be submissive. You can be a slave, you can be submissive. You can be, whatever. You can pretty much be submissive. Um, but, anyway, a regular submissive is someone. It's hard to describe a regular submissive because there's not very many regular submissives out there. A regular submissive is someone who is just submissive, has a submissive personality. You could just be submissive to your husband. If you have a husband, you could just be submissive to him. Like, let him make all the decisions and whatever, what have you. Um, that's pretty much, you're submitting to him by letting him have that power. You're giving that power to him, letting him make the decisions in your life. You also have, or you also asked about sexual submissives. Now this is where we start getting back into BDSM. A sexual submissive is kind of the same thing as a sex slave, sort of, but not quite as intense. Taking it to the slave level is really taking it to an intense level. So what you're doing by being a sexual submissive is you're letting your dominant or your boyfriend, whatever, you're letting him control you to the point that it even gets into your sexual life. So that's pretty much what a sexual submissive is. I hope that wasn't too vague, but I tried to touch on all three of those for you. Also, something else I wanted to touch on were safe, sane, and consensual. That is really important in BDSM. Safe, sane, and consensual. First of all, everything you do, needs to be safe. Anything you participate in, any scenes that you participate in, they need to be safe. They need to be sane, as in, not crazy. You don't want to jump off a bridge onto concrete that's like 100 feet, below you. That's kind of crazy, and it's not safe. And consensual. So you don't want your dominant to really surprise you with something just out of the blue. Um, you want to kind of, consent with each other to know what you're getting yourself into beforehand. Before you start a scene, before you start um, doing whatever you want to call it, you two basically want to converse and decide that that is what you're going to do. So that way there's no surprises. Well, maybe a few surprises, but no major surprises that are going to freak anyone out. Also, you have your safe word. What you want to do with your safe word is you can make up any safe word. It could be pancake, or flapjack, whatever. You're in the middle of a scene, or you're in a state of masochism type relationship, and you're hurting too much. You say pancake, and they stop. Okay, that's pretty simple. A lot of people still use the old-fashioned red light, green light scenario. Green light means you like it and you want more of it, pretty much. Red light means stop, of course. So you've got red light, green lights. Those there's safe words, and we talked about safe, sane, and consensual. The differences between sex submissive, regular submissive, and a um, domestic submissive. But it's more like domestic slave. Like, again, what I'll say on that is pretty much dominant people that you find that are looking for a domestic slave, they're pretty much just looking for someone to give them free housework and also maybe some sex on the side. Like, if you think about that, you just think about that for just a second. Do you want to clean this person's house and then give them sex maybe very minutely, like maybe never, but just clean the house and do whatever they say and be punished if you screw up one little thing? Like, the people that I lived with who I was a domestic slave to, they legit got out a white glove and they would go over the tops of like the the door trim. They would go over the top of the door trim. They would go over top of bedposts or desks, anything. And if they got dirt on their little white glove, you know um, I was in trouble, so I would be punished for that, which really wasn't cool to me, because basically that's just asking me to clean your house for free and be beat up if I don't clean your house perfectly. Um, so that's not really something I'm into. But sexual submission, totally fun. Suggest that to anyone. It's amazing to have a dominant partner. I don't really know what it's like to be dominant, because you have people who are naturally submissive and people who are naturally dominant. Naturally, I'm submissive. So you have your dominant who is naturally dominant. There's no way he can be submissive. Then again, you have your people who are your switches. And a switch is someone who basically, I would just refer to them as a kinkster, because, if you can switch back and forth and be dominant and submissive, you're not really well grounded in your sense of BDSM. You just do whatever. Basically, you're just playing around, so it's being a kinkster. I hope that doesn't hurt anyone's feelings. I hope I don't, um, like it or dislike it. I don't care. That's just my opinion on the matter. And I think those are all the questions I've gotten. Sorry I haven't done a video lately. I think 50 Shades of Grey came out. I am not going to watch that. I refuse to watch it because it's completely unrealistic, at least from the book um, that I've read. It's bogus. I'm about, me personally, I'm about probably as close to that story as you're going to find, honestly. But I, well, maybe not. I don't know. There might be people out there who are closer, but I'm pretty close. But if you think about it, I mean, how many 28-year-old billionaires are there? How many 28-year-old billionaires are there that are into BDSM and have a red room? You know, whatever. It's all it's all up to you guys as to what you prefer, what you like, and if 50 Shades of Grey is what got you started in BDSM, then I will applaud 50 Shades of Grey for letting our community grow. Um, that's pretty much all I have for this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Anyway, oh, I totally forgot. Totally forgot. And this is bad of me. This is bad of me. Hold on, give me one moment. Give me one moment. Okay, so I'm back. We had our collaring ceremony, and this is my collar. It's titanium. It's solid titanium, and it has a locking pin on it. I don't know if you can see the locking pin right there, but yeah. And if you're wondering why I'm not wearing it, it is because at school we have to look professional, um, and people would kind of be wondering why I'm wearing this maybe, so I haven't worn this, and it's from Eternity Collars. I'll try and put a link in the description below. Eternity Collars, this is some pretty quality stuff, I think, and it's not like, it does not bend or anything. Also, we have the D ring that came with it. I think I have two D rings. One's a smaller size, and then this one, I think that's what Master got me. He also got me this to wear, and this I do have to wear 24/7. It's the titanium cuff bracelet, and it is secured with a special screw that my master made personally for this thing, and like I can't take it off. Like I've tried to use soap and slip it off. I've tried everything in the world, and it will not come off. And I just wanted to try that to make sure that I couldn't get it off, so that way I know that it's secure. Because, you know, I kind of like having something like that on. Anyway, um, he also got me this jar, and it has a red rose. Red symbolizes dominance, and white symbolizes submission. So, naturally, they'll die together in this little jar we have here. And maybe the petals will fall off and get mixed together. I don't know. But they've lasted kind of a while. I think it's airtight. Anyway, I'm getting about to the 15-minute mark on my video. Like I said, I'll try and leave you a link for Eternity Collars in the description below. And if you have any questions or comments, please ask me. Feel free. I love answering questions and helping people out. So, anyway, that's all. Bye-bye.